Welcome back to Alyssa's Movie Takes. Christmas with the Chosen the Messengers has been released in theaters. Last year they did a Christmas special that aired on TV, and YouTube this year they decided to raise some money and give us a chance to see some Chosen content in the theaters by releasing it through Fathom Events. The initial release of the tickets a couple weeks ago broke records for that company, and then amazingly enough, for 2 days in a row and possibly three, the Chosen Christmas with the Chosen the Messengers was the #1 movie in America for the day, breaking $2.5 million on Wednesday the 1st, and then about $2.1 million on the 2nd. So it's doing very well, which is good news for the future of the show, including how some of that money is going to go to fund future episodes of just the TV show. So us putting down our money to go see this event is also helping us get more Chosen episodes, and not just having to donate through Pay It Forward, but getting something back and being able to see a Chosen episode. And a lot of great Christian artists put together a great Christmas program that I really enjoyed. So most of it is music. And then they have about 4 monologues from the cast members. They start out with the names of God and how that plays into Jewish history from different periods of grief or mourning, or when they needed God to show up, including the period of silence between Malachi and when Jesus appears on the scene in the New Testament. But my favorite monologue was from Luke Dimian, who, if you haven't seen season 2, it's been out for 6 months. I'm going to spoil something here. He plays Judas in the series. And as soon as we saw him, my friend and I, we knew that he's going to go places. He's going to go places beyond the Chosen. And his monologue about Emmanuel, God with us, just brought so much joy and peace to my heart as he spoke with such conviction and animation. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know that character that he plays, playing Judas, because I think especially him playing Judas with compassion, with empathy, is going to get him to have many other roles in Hollywood as he goes down the road. Let me rank my favorite 3 songs from the night, since most of it is music. Coming in at number 3 is For King and Country's rendition of Go Tell It on the Mountain. They make the list simply because For King and Country are such great showmen, Luke and Joel Smallbone. They know how to do a performance like nobody else. I mean, they sell out stadiums because they have got the art of the performance down. And in this song of Go Tell It on the Mountain, they do a Steadicam, so their band members join slowly and surely with a big drum in the background. And I just always enjoy seeing whatever they come up with. For instance, their song Burn the Ships is one of my favorite music videos because it's just so well thought out and creative. Props to them. They did a good job last year with Little Drummer Boy as well. They were one of the few that got invited back again. Them and Phil Wickham, I think, were the only 2 repeats. But my second favorite was Leanna Crawford's Breath of Heaven. I always thought that song was beautiful. I believe it was originated by Amy Grant, and it talks about Mary's thought process and becoming a mom, becoming the mother of God. And then the chorus is just so beautiful. Breath of heaven, hold me together, be forever with me, breath of heaven. And I just think the combination of bringing earth to heaven in one person, Mary, that she kind of had to walk that line as a mom of her son is between earth and heaven, and all the things that she would have thought through. And Leanna Crawford has a beautiful voice, and they shot her song. They shot all the songs in Utah, but they shot her song outside of the Jerusalem compound that's there into the mountains. And it just was soul stirring. It just made my heart jump because she has such a gorgeous voice, such a gorgeous song. And then they had some clips from Mary and Joseph on the donkey, so it just brought you right into the nativity story as well. My favorite song of the evening was from the One Voice Children's Choir, because I just think children singing Christmas songs, you can't really compete with that. It's classic. It's been done for ages and ages, but as soon as you hear kids singing Christmas songs, it just gets you right into the season. And they have a fantastic choir. The kids' harmonies were spot on, and they sang What Child Is This?, which is one of my favorites just because it's so beautiful, and it brings you kind of right to the second coming and his sacrifice later on. They did fantastic. They also shot their song more in the hills than in the compound. And just the movement that they did, the kids were also playing the instruments. I really, really enjoyed that song. The episode that they released focuses on Mary and Joseph arriving at Bethlehem and what it might have really looked like to give birth to a baby in a barn. They have Joseph shoveling manure to make room for Mary's bed. They have Mary making the manger into somewhat a decent bed for her son. And they show her in pain, and they show Joseph helping. And then there's also a crossover that I won't go into too much, but we get to see some of the other cast members in that episode as well, because classic Chosen style, they're kind of bouncing back and forth between two timelines to explain something that happens later through the birth story, and a very deep and powerful reflection on one character's looking back to what had happened that night in the stable. So I really enjoyed it. It is a little interesting to see a concert in theaters. I don't usually go to see concerts in theaters. I think you go to see them live because there's just something special about seeing a concert live. But with the camera work that they did, I didn't find myself bored at all, and they broke it up with the monologues. So it was a really cool, unique experience. And because there's such little content out there that's actually connected at all to Christmas, even the Santa Claus Christmas stuff, there's just not that much stuff out there because for one reason or another, maybe it doesn't sell anymore, but they just don't release many Christmas movies in theaters anymore. They release plenty on the Hallmark Channel, but not so much in theaters. So I do think it's worth going to support The Chosen. I do think it will be fun to see. I invited my neighbors, one who was a Christian and one who wasn't, and they both enjoyed it. They were both blown away by the music. So I think that's a testament to how well they thought through this production and how well they just know how to put on a good show, The Chosen. I know that from their YouTube content and from their programs and their episodes. You can still get tickets through Fathom Events, but most of the time just Google your zip code and whatever theater is hosting the event will come up. Because they've added so many theaters, you would likely be able to find one in your area. You can also host a church event, and eventually the episode piece of it, so the story piece of it, will be available to the more general audience. But I enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. That's my take on The Chosen, Christmas with The Chosen, The Messengers, and I will talk to you soon.